I'm Dolly Simonovich. Welcome to Senior Moments. In probably 76, 77, I took part in a research study regarding computers. They told me all the different things a personal computer could do for you. And one of the things was games, and I thought, well, games sounded good, but I couldn't imagine shopping or doing my banking on a computer. And so I told them, they asked me if I'd buy a computer, and I thought, I just can't imagine I would, and if I did, I'd probably only play games on it. Boy, was I wrong. Can you imagine Bill Gates sitting behind that one-way mirror and me telling him, no, I wouldn't buy one of your computers, and I don't think anyone else would either. Well, luckily, he didn't listen to me, and computers changed our lives. And I do my banking on my computer, but I also play games. As you may have surmised, today's show is about computers. And my guest today is George Porta, a volunteer at the San Bruno Senior Center. George, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Will you tell us a little bit about the computer club at the San Bruno Senior Center?
Well, we've got eight computers. We have the newest one out there in the corner, and we teach. We have demonstrations every month. It could be email or Windows 8 or whatever the people are interested in, and we usually get a pretty good crowd.
When did the computer club start?
It started in, let's see, it's been 27 years this year.
Did it start as soon as the senior center was built?
Yes, it did.
And who started it?
Wendy
Mines?
and Chris Pallas.
Oh, really?
Was the two that I know of.
Uh-huh.
In fact, Chris Pallas's wife is our vice president.
She is?
Yeah.
All right. So it's not just you working here?
We lost three. One passed away, one retired,
Oh.
and the other just left. So we're really looking for volunteers.
You're looking for volunteers,
Right.
but you still have a few.
We have a few. We have two instructors. We had four with the two we lost, so we really could use more help.
So this isn't just for people who are beginning. We want people who know computers to come in and volunteer to help other seniors.
Exactly. We have, as of today, 84 members, and we're still climbing. A lot of people don't understand the new computer they bought, and they find out that we have a class here that's fairly reasonable, and they're just joyful to come in.
Do you charge for the computer club?
We charge $30 for the classes. They're 5 days.
$30 for each class, and it's a 5-day class. Okay.
Exactly. And it's $15 for a year's membership, which entitles them to 5 days of the week to come in here, use their computers. We have a monitor, and if they run into troubles and they don't understand something, they can ask the monitor and he'll help them, which I think is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, so they're never alone with the computer. There's always someone there.
Always someone. And
okay.
each computer has a certain password that we give them, so that somebody from the outside, when we're not here, can they can't go on the computers if they don't know the password. And but we really enjoy teaching seniors. That's our goal. Make them happy, make them walk out of here and they know how to turn the computer back on and do something with it.
What kind of experience do you have with computers?
I started here 20 years ago after I retired. I retired early at 62.
So they taught you enough for you to teach others. It takes a lot to know how to teach someone something. You really have to know something in order to do that.
You have to know the commands in the computer.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's just going to sit there and stare at you.
Especially if you're teaching. How long are your classes? An hour long?
They're 1 to 3 on Monday and Wednesday.
1 hour to
No,
2
one,
hours? 2
1
hours
o'clock
a day?
to 3 o'clock.
And
it's Mondays and Wednesdays, so that the rest of the week it's not so disruptive for the people that want to use the normal computers.
That's a long time to be in front of somebody, giving them information.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But they're all speeds. Some get it right away, and some we have to go over, and we don't mind. We understand that, and we're happy to do it. And I came up with a logo to them that if you feel you haven't learned what we were trying to teach you, come back, tell us, and we'll teach it again for nothing. and that kind of sparks them up, and they say,
Oh,
well,
sure.
I didn't waste all my money because I can come back.
Well, it reduces the fear too, doesn't it? I mean, 90% of our problem is the fear factor.
That's right. They say,
I
I'll
can't
never
do
learn.
that. I'm
Yeah.
afraid. What if I ruin it?
Right. I tell them, yes, you will. I have one lady here that's almost 90, and she's very bright and good on computers. She learned quick.
Well, if you've learned over that time well enough to teach everybody,
Yeah, why can't someone else learn
that's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of difficulties do they have other than once they get rid of the fear? What do they have any difficulties with computers?
The biggest one that I've noticed, and I think everybody knows that, is the movement of the mouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can't coordinate it at the beginning. I couldn't either. You move it so far and you say, what happens now? I can't go any further ahead. Well,
Instead of lifting it
yeah,
up.
lift it up and pick it here, and the mouse will stay there, and you can continue on. And when they learn that's a big joy. So we have most of them play solitary, which you have to move every direction. And we also have a mouse program in there where it tells you what to do with the mouse for colors and clicking on things, and it helps. It helps. From that beginning, then we show them how to, of course we show them how to turn the thing on, the computer, and put their password in and click on it and come up to the web page, and we just process from there. We have a book, a manual that we produce, and we give each member the manual, and that's theirs to keep. So when they finish the class, they can go home or come here and open the book and go through the pages and practice.
Or they can go to the library.
Or the library.
Yes.
It's about 32 pages, and it's pretty involved.
So it gives everybody probably an email.
We give them an email if they want.
So they know how to check their emails. They
Right.
probably correspond with their loved ones and so on.
That's right.
Happy that they can do it.
Yes.
What other things do you give them? Are they able to research and shop and bank and
Right,
do all of those things?
A lot of them want to know about eBay. We have a program in photo for cameras that we like called Picasa. It's a part of Google, and it's very easy to use. And we show them that. In fact, I'm having a demonstration on that next week, and they're very interested in that. We're going to start a camera program so they can take the memory card out or put it in, and how to hook it up to the computer and upload or download the pictures.
So you'll show them how to do it from their cameras, digital cameras, or from their iPhones?
Right, iPhones
also have those,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a program that they really enjoy. They'll put all their pictures on a CD or a DVD from the computer. If they want to know, how do the pictures get into that computer? And as long as you've got a memory card and a camera, we'll show you how. So
And things are always changing too, so do you keep up with all the changes?
Always. Windows 8 is coming up with another part of it, going to be called Windows 9 next year in April.
So now you have to buy Windows 8, and if you want
No,
Windows 9?
It's a disk,
Oh,
but it goes over Windows 8, and then 8 becomes 9. And
so it upgrades it.
it upgrades it to a little more beneficial to the people that own these computers. They're very difficult to learn, the new 8s.
The new ones?
Yeah, for
So
the
the new
seniors.
computer, the computer you said you just bought is a Windows 8 computer.
That's right.
So the people here have the experience with the older computers first, and then they're learning slowly. They're learning the Windows 8 computer.
That's right. And they learn it.
And is the Windows 8 computer the one where you just touch the screen? And
That's right.
I mean, I watch television. I see the commercials for
Yeah,
all of these
yeah.
things.
And then you can also get it without the touch. You can get it back with the mouse and the keyboard. But we got the touch because it eliminates the mouse for them, and they don't have to worry about that. So they can just touch the screen, and everything works just like an iPad or whatever.
If somebody wanted to learn about computers and they had never touched a computer before, come into the senior center and they say, I really need to learn computers. What do they do? What
Well,
happens?
Of course, they come here, and
Person at the front desk, they'd go to the front desk would refer them to the computer club.
that's right.
Okay, and they'd come here, and what would happen?
Well, they tell you that either they don't have a computer, but they would like to learn, or their children or one of the relatives would show them something and then walk away and leave them there. And there's no way they're going to learn if nobody stays with them.
So they sign up for the computer club, and automatically they're in,
That's right.
and you'll help them along.
Always.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to take a break right now.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Here's a question for every parent out there. If you could fast forward 20 years to see how your kid's doing in life, would you do it? Well, we can't time travel yet, but we can see the future better with the new Common Core state standards in our schools. They set clear goals for every stage of learning, and they're the same for everyone no matter what zip code you're in. So you can be sure your student is really grasping what she needs to know to get to graduation and beyond. Find out how it all works at commoncoreworks.org.
Going to a restaurant is meant to be special, often a celebration, like these guys here. But if you or someone you love has a food allergy, you may feel anxious about dining out. Great job, Coach.
That's why our friends at Food Allergy Research and Education want to spread the word that you can have a safe and enjoyable dining experience. You just need a game plan, and you can find one online at safefare.org.
Visit safefare.org to learn more. And remember, we're all on the same team.
A public service message from Food Allergy Research and Education.
Price is how much something costs. Value is what it's worth to you. A lower introductory price by some providers doesn't always mean a good value. San Bruno Cable posts its regular rates on the internet and in the office, no hidden fees, annual contracts to sign, or high-pressure salesmen. We have a local office with knowledgeable staff. If there's a need, we offer free same-day or next business day service calls. By patronizing San Bruno Cable, you get a great value at a competitive price. Thank you for choosing San Bruno Cable.
Did you know that your thumbs are some of the scariest things on the planet? Every year, an average of 6,000 people lose their lives to thumbs that are used to text while driving. That means that your opposable digit is more dangerous than volcanoes, sharks, airplanes, jellyfish, tigers, lions, tornadoes, roller coasters, hippos, skydiving, spiders, and snakes. Texting while driving is more dangerous than all of those things. So why isn't it one of your biggest fears?
This video was submitted by a student through the Teens Drive Smart program. For more information on teen safety, visit teensdrivesmart.com.
Hello, welcome back. I'm Dolly Simonovich, sitting here with George Porta, a volunteer at the San Bruno Senior Center Computer Club. George, let's talk a little bit about the computers.
Okay.
I know that there are two kinds of computers. One is a Mac and the other is a PC. Would you tell me the difference between those?
Well, there are two different formats, the way they work. And of course, the Apple
is a Mac,
The
right?
Apple is a Mac.
And the PC uses Windows.
Windows programs. The majority of the world uses Windows. It's worldwide, probably 90%.
So that would be the PCs.
That would be the PC, and then the Apple comes in on the shorter end of that. And it's also, they're both very good program PCs.
And I assume that once you start with one program, that's the one you like, and it's like learning a new language to move into the other computer.
Right. You kind of like to stay with that, with, say, Windows.
With the same format.
With the same format. Or if you have Apple, you want to stay with the Apple. It's your choice, and whatever is convenient and easier for you to use. But I like them both. They're both great. One's a little more expensive than the other.
Which one's more expensive usually?
The Apple is usually quite a bit more expensive.
Apple's more expensive, but you know, my sister has an Apple, and hers does all these different things that mine doesn't do, but mine wasn't as expensive. So, I mean, with Apple, do they pretty much give you a lot of the programs, and when you have a PC, you have to buy the programs in many cases, right?
You have to buy a lot of the programs for Apple also, but it's a download on the computer, and it's usually, they're not expensive, 99 cents, $1.
Oh, really?
$3. And you download the program, and the little icon appears right on your screen, and you're ready to go. But you have to give them your credit card number in your PC, and it goes to the Apple store. I mean, there's no other companies involved. Apple controls everything. They got like 700,000 downloads of every kind of program you can think of. And so does Windows. Windows is following through with that.
I know that there are different sizes of computers, I'll say it that way, because we have a computer that we have at home that's stationary, stuck to our wall and so on. Then we have laptops, the kind that you open up. But then there are other things like notebooks and iPads and iPhones and Kindles and e-readers and so on. Now, can you tell me a little bit about those items?
Well, each one of them does a different thing. Of course, the iPad is a portable computer. It's Wi-Fi. So is the tablet. The Kindle is for books, like Barnes and Noble. They load the books onto there for a cost. And the one good thing about the PCs and the Apples is you can rent books from the library. You can check it out, and they put it onto your Windows or your Apple computer, and I think that's a good thing.
Oh, so if I bought like an iPad, I could read my book from my iPad if I wanted to.
You could.
But if I bought a Kindle, I could only read the book on my Kindle, and I can't do anything else with the Kindle but read my books.
That's correct.
But it holds lots of books.
Yes, it does.
And you can buy your books there, or you could rent them probably from the
Right.
library, right?
It's a lot cheaper to do it that way.
Cheaper
than
to
buying
rent
the
it.
whole book.
Do they even charge you? The library doesn't even charge you, does it?
No, the library doesn't charge you.
So you can get free books from the library.
Exactly.
Okay. Tell me about the Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi is like, it's wireless. There's no wires connected to your computer or your iPad, and it's in the air, and it has an antenna built into the computer that picks up the signal and puts you online. But you have to have your ID and your password to get onto it.
Does every Wi-Fi have a password?
Every different place you go is a different password. If you're into a hotel, they have a certain password. In this computer club, we have a certain password. But you only do it once, and then the next time you come in, the computer knows where you're at, knows that you
It's
put
like
the
it's
password.
already been introduced.
Yeah, and it works. If I go home from here, it knows I'm home, and it goes on to my Wi-Fi, automatic. So they're amazing equipment.
You said that they have different operating systems between the Mac or the Apple and the PC. Are there phone systems that go with each one? For example, does the iPhone go with the Mac? Does the iPhone go with the Mac? and something else go with a PC, or does each one of those systems, do you have to learn something new every time you buy something different?
Well, I think Windows has their own phones also.
Oh, they do?
Right. And of course the Apple has the iPhone and the iPad, and they work together very well. They're designed that way.
So if I had an iPhone, could I take it home and upload something to my PC?
I believe you could.
Because they're two different systems, but
Right.
they still would work together.
I think so. There's just some programs that Windows has that Apple doesn't have, or it doesn't allow it to go on, and vice versa. So you just have to look for something similar in the downloads from Apple that Windows has that they can't get.
There's a possibility of adding something from your iPhone and putting it into your PC.
Exactly.
Like if you took a picture on your camera, you could load it into your PC. That's the major thing that you would do.
Right.
And then of course if you're checking your email on your little iPhone, the email is also on your PC.
That's right.
There's no switching back and forth anyhow.
Well, you can send it to any PC or any Apple from your email, and then they can use their photo program in either one of those computers. And
so even if you don't hook it to it, you can send it to it through the air or through the internet to the PC. Oh, it's just incredible how it talks to each other.
I have a wireless printer, and I can hit the button on my iPad in one room, and I can hear the printer start up and print the paper out. No wires.
So if you can set up Wi-Fi in your own home too.
You can.
So if you have a laptop, you can go to any room in your house. So do you set up your own password too?
Yeah.
Otherwise, anybody could use it, right?
Right. Usually the password on the Wi-Fi is on the router, the serial number of the router. That's what they usually use. That's what I use for my password, so that you never forget it because it's right there imprinted in the box.
And that's just so people moving around aren't using, they could go. I mean, I've heard people just driving down the street checking to see if they can use somebody else's Wi-Fi.
There's a lot of bad people out there.
But does it really hurt if somebody's using your Wi-Fi? I mean, they can't really get into your computer doing that.
No, they
They're
just
just
get the uses
they
of
get a
it.
free internet, that's all.
The one thing that I have found that you have to be very careful with your Windows laptops or your iPads is you're in a public place and you go onto your banking, that's a no-no. Because you don't know if they have some kind of an apparatus that they can pick up your signal and see exactly what you're doing in your computer. So it's not a good idea to do that in a public place, like McDonald's or some restaurant or Starbucks.
So just do something mundane.
That's exactly right.
Do your research or maybe even check your emails, that kind of thing.
Right, I do that all the time.
Well, let's go back to seniors, and if there's any difficulties seniors have that you've seen and have kind of helped people with.
Well, it's the computer itself with anyone, even a teenager, if they've never used one before, they're going to have some difficulties. Not all of them, but some will. And we do have seniors that they can't grasp it right away. We go over it 2 or 3 times until they finally kind of understand what we're trying to show them, and then they're happier about it. But you have to be patient with them, and we are patient with our members, and we don't want them to get scared. We want them to gain the knowledge that they need to get on that computer and get their email or do their banking or go to their eBay or whatever they want to do and be comfortable.
Why is it that children seem to learn the computer so easily and adults, I'm not just talking about seniors, I'm talking about all adults, have such a difficult time with it?
They were born into this new generation, and this is all they understand. Where older people were born into radio tubes, And that's a big difference from that type of format to these electronic computers that are wireless, and they pull things out of the air from all over the world within minutes. You send an email and it goes across the globe to somewhere else in a few minutes. It's unheard of in the old days. Never had such a thing.
Yeah.
You're lucky to get a phone call that far.
Well, it's like anything. Once you've done it a number of times, it gets easier and easier and easier. So even the main thing is their fear. Do they have any difficulties handling the keys? Or
Yes, they do.
Sometimes?
Yeah, a lot of them have a problem with their hands shaking.
Shaking hands. And they probably heavy touch instead of a light touch. Computers, you have to have a light touch.
Or the double click, they click it hard 2 times and it won't respond.
Because they're clicking not fast enough or what?
Or too slow or too fast. It's just a certain way you click it and it works. And they learn that. It's not a big deal. We tell
it may
them 2 or 3
take them a little
times.
longer to learn it. So our message today then would be to come to the Senior Center and
Come and see us.
come and see you.
Right.
Join the computer club
Love to
if
have
they're
them.
interested in it. And I suppose there's friendships that develop here too.
There
It's
is
the
a
best
lot.
best way to get to know people. You think that you're alone on your computer, but everybody's in the room talking.
That's right. No, we enjoy helping these people. So we look forward to seeing any new members that'd like to come in.
George, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody at home appreciates your hard work here and your volunteerism.
And thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Dolly Simonovich with George Porta, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.